Hello, today I want to show you a few of the small details I've added to the builds throughout my world that I think have made it more unique. I don't have much dead space between my builds, and I'm always trying to think of new ways to make my world feel more dense. So I spent a few minutes walking around and came up with a list of 7 details I wanted to share. So I've split this video up into kind of 2 parts, one more focused on details within like villages and cities, and then the second on details a little bit more nature related. So for the village and city details, I'm inside my port city right now. And as you can see, it looks very brown. And one of the ways you can kind of change this a little bit is by adding in a little community garden. This one's kind of on the outside of the village anyway, which is already pretty green, but you could put it in the middle of the city and then it might help break that up a little bit more than what I did. But it's just a really good way to use up some dead space. I didn't really know what to do with this area, so this is kind of what I came up with. You might find success in putting like actual crops in here, like potatoes or stuff. These were mostly just flowers. These ones you could, pass off as tomatoes or something. Then up here, it's kind of just some random flowers, also thrown in some of the nether sprouts for some variety. And then the new pink petals, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure where that bee came from. I actually looked around for a beehive earlier, and I don't know where one is. So, yeah, anyway. Some other details I threw in here were just some composters, some barrels, some chests, and pots and stuff. I threw a little bench over here, and then also had a little well. But they'll use mostly moss for the ground, as well as some dirt, which was a nice contrast, finally adding in some greenery to the otherwise pretty brown and dreary city. So yeah, community gardens, lots of plants in Minecraft to use, so consider that if you wanted to change up your city a little bit. I'm in this village I made a little while ago. I don't really like a lot of the village. I was trying to make a kind of rundown sort of city that was a little down on its luck, sort of say, kind of that's shown in like the sloping roofs, and they kind of look, the windows are different colors, just not doing super well. Overall, I don't love a lot of it, but I do really like this one detail I did with having the brick and mud brick walls inset and part of this building. Looked like at some point this wall had either been caved in or it needed some repair of some sort, and instead of doing it properly, the pub or tavern in this case kind of cheaped out and just used whatever they had on hand to make it work. You can also add some buttons below here, either of the brick or of whatever your building material is. In this case, I just used invisible item frames and some slabs. I did another little bit on this side as well. Same sort of thing. I liked having a different color. You can use the same color, just using like tough walls, for instance. It would still look good. It would look set in. But I thought using a different color of brick than the wall sort of implied even further that they were using literally whatever they had on hand and didn't care whatsoever what it looked like. So yeah, if you were building a building that is kind of worn down, then I think this is a great detail to add in somewhere. This is a little village I made to kind of accompany the Gothic castle I made. What I wanted to highlight here is kind of putting these clotheslines where you can use different colors of banners in the wool carpets to kind of look like they're just some clothes hanging over either fences or chains. Yeah, it adds a nice color. You can choose whatever you want, honestly, there's lots. And then it's also something to look for above. A lot of the times in villages you got lots of little details below. But then when you look up, it's kind of just rooms and then the sky. So I like putting something up here. It makes it look a little bit more dense, a little bit more full of life. I threw a couple others in this specific village as well. Going up there, you can see some kind of going up towards the mountain. Another little community garden here. And then there's another one up here as well. So I think all those 3 really helped to bring this specific village to life. The gardens helped as well, but specifically having something up above I found really helpful. The last detail I had that's more village related is this leather worker shop I made here, using the brown banners and the carpets to look like kind of hides of leather that are drying out. I built this away from the rest of the village because historically these smelled absolutely terrible, so they're always built farther away from the rest of the village. But using the brown banners and then using some of the different patterns inside the loom and some dyes like the white ones or the orange ones, kind of creates a little bit of fading color here that kind of just makes it look so that not all of the hides are the same color. Like, oh, this one came maybe from a different animal or just like a younger animal or something. So yeah, having different colors of the banners I thought was nicer than just doing all pure brown. So yeah, it was a cool detail. I was pretty happy with it. I also included a little bit more inside. So yeah, if you're gonna make a village, consider building a leather worker, kind of outside the village, and then using brown banners with different patterns dyed to look like hides drying out. Moving on to the more nature-related details, right next to the leather worker, I had this little bit of dead space here. And the area around it is pretty lush. There's lots of fields, and then also kind of like this general meadow with lots of flower patches all over. So I thought it'd be a perfect place to come and bring in some beehives. Maybe like the leather worker has kind of a side business here or something. But I like how the bees were moving around, added in some movement, which can be tough to get in Minecraft sometimes. So whenever possible, I like to throw that in. And then I thought it would just fit in really well with the area surrounding it. Even if you're not going to walk down here, you can still see them off the main path. Just something a little bit different than adding in yet another field, which I think I've done probably enough of. So yeah, I already had the little flowers here, and thought I'd throw something a little bit more different in here. I do have a couple other beehives in other places in the world, actually, if I remember. I think there's one like literally right over here. I used the other beehives here, the actual ones, not the natural ones. Not sure which one actually looks better. I kind of like both of them. But similar sort of idea here. When the bees are out, it looks really nice. I do like how the honey drips down. These ones are pretty cool. So two different versions of it to do. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense in kind of like these green, lush, plain sort of meadow biomes. Yeah. You may have seen in the last clip when I was showing off the beehives some stones I had on top of this hill here. These are just a nice thing to add in if you want some lore into your world. I had this one that somebody put right on the edge, and then at some point it fell in, and then I kind of threw in some dye right here to make it look like it kind of rubbed off. I haven't ever really fully decided what these are made of. It could be chalk or quartz or something. I do have a little quarry right over here with the same sort of coloring, so probably related or something, but these ones are more ancient, and that's obviously a more modern day mining practice. Well, still medieval, but modern compared to whoever erected these stones so long ago. So adding in some stones, don't have to be white obviously, but any sort of Stonehenge-like sculptures can be pretty cool. I added some dirt underneath them just to sort of break them up a little bit and threw extra grass around them. But yeah, they're pretty easy to make. I chose the quartz and slabs and stairs just to make them a little bit more round. And then some strip halo and of course the calcite. They're all different shapes, but you could probably copy paste the same one over and over again if you wanted to. But yeah, kind of unexplained stones somewhere in your world can look pretty cool, and add some lore if you want to add some lore to it. I'm still working on what these ones mean in my world, but yeah. The last detail I have here for today is these aqueducts I made to supply the farmland here with some water. I have the main village in my world up here, and then I kind of just brought out some water and some random points here, as if there's some subterranean caverns or something. Some of them just flow out straight into here, but I didn't want to have a bunch of individual like water patches like I've put over here. So I wanted to try something different and kind of make lines of water that flow down into the ocean. So there's a couple that just come out, but then I wanted to spread it out a little bit further, so I decided to kind of build these wooden aqueducts. And I'm actually really happy with these. I built these a long time ago. Mostly I used the spruce, which was just some mud at the bottom for like the thicker support. Trapdoors on the side, and then I just waterlogged slabs. The water doesn't come out from underneath, but it also has the dripping effect, which is really cool. Yeah, I kind of just brought them out, dropping them down whenever I needed to. I waterlogged them all because you have to. So it isn't like the water kind of slopes down gradually like it usually would. But then yeah, every time it drops down, you get a little waterfall. So I built that one over here to kind of supply 1, 2, 3 different little rivers. And then over here, this one splits off into 2. Similar sort of style, and then I just had the path run right underneath it so that you get the little particles dripping down from underneath and you get to look at them up close. Yeah, I thought this was a really creative idea. I've seen big aqueducts done a fair amount in Minecraft for supplying actual cities and stuff, but just for farmland, and just, you know, going over, 10 blocks, not even. It was kind of a creative idea and a different way to make your farmland fertile other than just doing the classic random block of water, even if you're going to put something above it to cover it. Yeah, so that I thought was pretty cool. Thank you for watching. I hope you found a few of these details inspiring. Leave a like if you liked, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye for now.